I turn our guest room into an office. Now, my in-laws are furious they can't stay with us. I, 34M, live with my wife, 32F, in a small two-bedroom apartment in a medium-sized city. We've lived here for nearly 5 years now. We don't have kids yet, so it's just the two of us and our rescue cat. The space isn't huge, but we've made it cozy and functional. Or at least, we were trying to. For the past few years, the second bedroom has unofficially been the guest room. We don't host people that often. Mostly it's used when my wife's parents come to visit from out of town, which happens maybe once or twice a year. They typically stay 3 to 5 nights, and they've always just assumed that room is theirs. But here's the problem. I work from home full-time, and I've been working from home since before the pandemic. For the longest time, I worked from the corner of our living room, squeezed between a bookshelf and the couch. I was constantly surrounded by distractions, dishes clanking, laundry beeping, my wife moving around, the cat walking across my keyboard. It wasn't sustainable, and it was definitely starting to affect my productivity and, honestly, my mental health. About 2 months ago, I finally did something I'd been putting off for way too long. I converted the second bedroom into a proper home office. I bought a sturdy desk, a real office chair, no more dining chair back pain, mounted my monitor, set up decent lighting, and even added a few plants to make the space more inviting. I used saved-up money to make it happen. It wasn't cheap, but it was worth it. Since then, I've noticed a huge difference in how I work and how I feel. Fast forward to last week. My in-laws texted my wife to let her know they were planning a visit in early May. They sounded excited, and they naturally assumed they'd be staying with us like they always have. My wife, to her credit, tried to gently explain that the second bedroom is now my home office and not set up for overnight guests anymore. She let them know we'd be happy to pay for a nice nearby Airbnb or hotel. There are plenty within walking distance. We said we'd still love to host dinners, spend time together, show them around, but I'd still need a quiet space to work during their visit, especially since it falls on a weekday stretch. Well, it didn't go over great. Her mom made a comment like, "Oh, didn't realize we needed a reservation now to visit our daughter," and her dad asked, "Since when does a desk matter more than family?" My wife was visibly stressed after the call. I felt awful. Not because I thought we'd done something wrong, but because she was stuck in the middle. From my perspective, this wasn't about being unwelcoming. I even offered to pay for their lodging. It was just about space, practicality, and boundaries. I thought the compromise was more than fair. But now the vibe is weird. Her parents have been sending shorter than usual texts, and my wife said she feels like we broke some unspoken family rule. I never wanted to create tension. I just wanted to do my job without having to tear down my workspace and rebuild it every time someone comes over for a few days a year. So Reddit, AITA for not turning the guest room back into a guest room, even temporarily, and asking them to stay nearby instead. Update 1. I want to thank everyone who weighed in. I didn't expect so much feedback, but reading your responses gave me a ton of perspective. Some people related to the struggle of working from home in a small space. Others reminded me that boundaries, even with family, are a form of respect, not rejection. So here's what happened. My in-laws did visit, and no, I didn't stay with us. We found them a really nice Airbnb 2 blocks away. It was modern, quiet, had a kitchen, a queen bed, and even a little patio. We paid for it up front and sent them the confirmation with a friendly note. "We're so excited to see you. Here's the place we found for you. Hope you'll love it." The first 24 hours were tense. Her mom said things like, "Wow, this place is lovely. Not sure why we needed it, but lovely." Her dad made passive comments like, "Well, guess we're just guests now," or didn't expect to get kicked out of our own daughter's house. I won't lie, it stung. But I kept calm, smiled, and focused on being welcoming. And slowly, things relaxed. We had them over for dinner, watched a movie one night, even went for a walk around the neighborhood. My wife went out of her way to make them feel at home in spirit, even if not physically sleeping in our place. She planned a brunch at their favorite cafe and spent one afternoon with her mom shopping like they used to. By the third day, her dad admitted, half joking but half serious, "Okay, I'll admit this bed's better than that creaky futon." That was probably the closest we got to an apology, but we took it. My wife told me later that she felt proud of how we handled it. She said it was the first time she saw us operate like a unit, setting boundaries, but still showing care. She also confessed she'd always felt some low-key pressure to keep up the usual dynamic, even if it no longer worked for our lifestyle. Since then, we've had a few heart-to-hearts about our future, space, and where we draw the line when family starts to step into our personal lives. It brought us closer, All in all, I think it was a turning point, awkward at first, but healthy in the long run. Update 2. It's been 6 months since all that happened, and I figured I'd give one last update for anyone still curious. The best news? My in-laws came to visit again last month, and this time they booked their own Airbnb without us even offering. They texted my wife, "Found a cute little place nearby. See you soon." That was it. No drama, no sarcasm, no guilt tripping. During the visit, things were actually better than they've ever been. Everyone had their own space. We met up in the evenings, had dinners together, and even had them over to play cards one night. But when 10 p.m. rolled around, they walked back to their cozy rental, and we had our apartment and our sanity intact. I honestly think the shift came from them seeing that we weren't trying to exclude them. We were just trying to function like adults who have their own lives and routines. And once the emotional sting wore off, they seemed to get it. As for me, that office space has been a game changer. Having a proper work setup improved my performance so much that I actually got promoted. My boss mentioned that my focus and consistency had noticeably improved. I'm now mentoring new hires and leading a small team, something I wouldn't have been able to manage from the couch. My wife told me recently, "I used to feel torn between what my family expected and what we needed. Now I finally feel like we're building our version of life, not theirs." That meant everything to hear. So if you're in a similar situation, trying to balance family expectations with your own needs, here's what I've learned. Boundaries are not rejections. They're invitations to healthy relationships. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to adapt. You're allowed to reassign rooms in your own home if your lifestyle changes. And sometimes, if you stick to your values kindly but firmly, the people who love you will meet you halfway, even if it takes time. Thanks, Reddit, for helping me see that the room wasn't just a room. It was a stand for myself, my marriage, and my future. And I'm glad I took it.